On August 26, 1926, Spain demanded absolute control of Tangier, sparking a major international crisis that quiet summer. August 1926. 100 years ago, a dispute over a single North African city was becoming a test of European diplomacy. To the casual observer, Tangier was simply a Mediterranean port. Politically, however, it was something much stranger. From this position beside the Strait of Gibraltar, Tangier occupied one of the most strategically sensitive points between the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. Ships passed through these waters between two major seas, making the surrounding coastline strategically important to several European powers. Britain already controlled Gibraltar, giving London a powerful strategic position on the European side of the strait. Tangier had become an international zone, a compromise designed to prevent any single European power from dominating the city. The result was a city where several foreign powers had interests, but none possessed complete control. Surrounding Tangier were French and Spanish zones of influence, making the city's special status increasingly difficult to separate from the wider politics of Morocco. For the government of General Miguel Primo de Rivera, the international arrangement surrounding Tangier was increasingly difficult to accept. Spanish officials argued that Tangier was economically and geographically tied to the territory around it. They also argued that the international zone created security problems, including opportunities for smuggling and political activity beyond Spanish control. Economic difficulties added another layer of pressure. Trade and customs arrangements became increasingly contentious. On August 23, the Spanish government put its objections into a new diplomatic communication. The Spanish government presented the internationalization of Tangier as a political and economic problem that could no longer be ignored. Spain pressed for a fundamental change in the administration of the city. But Spain was not negotiating alone. For Britain, the future of Tangier was inseparable from the strategic security of Gibraltar and the Strait. British Foreign Secretary Sir Austen Chamberlain made clear that London would not simply accept a unilateral change to Tangier's status. France had its own interests. Its protectorate in Morocco meant that Paris could not ignore the future of Tangier. And Italy, under Italy, watched carefully as the dispute opened another opportunity to influence Mediterranean affairs. One city, four major powers, and four different strategic calculations. But another government was watching the crisis from inside Madrid. American ambassador was reporting developments back to Washington. His report offered Washington an important interpretation of Spain's position. From Washington, the Tangier dispute could be viewed as part of a much larger diplomatic calculation. Spain's ambitions extended beyond Morocco. Its position within the League of Nations also mattered. American diplomats interpreted Spain's pressure on Tangier, partly through the question of its international status and influence within the League's Council. The documents therefore suggests that the Tangier dispute had a larger diplomatic dimension than the city itself. That does not mean Tangier was simply a bargaining chip. Territorial security, Moroccan politics, and Spain's international ambitions are twined. While diplomats argued over the city's future, ordinary life in Tangier continued beneath the political struggle. The harbor connected Tangier to a much larger world of trade and movement. But behind closed doors, the pressure was building. Telegrams moved between capitals. Reports were written. Positions were tested. Europe was not at war. But peace did not mean that the great powers had stopped competing. By August 26, the Tangier question had become an important international diplomatic issue. What looked like a dispute over one city was revealing the competing interests of several major powers. This was not simply a city on the immediate edge of war. It was a diplomatic struggle whose outcome still depended on negotiation. So what was Spain really fighting for? Territorial control mattered. Security mattered. But so did Spain's place among the powers shaping the post-war international system. And that is why the geography of Tangier mattered so much. A cosmopolitan city had become the meeting point of competing empires, national ambitions, and international diplomacy. The documents from that week reveal something easy to forget about the interwar years. Peace can appear stable on the surface, while powerful states are still testing one another underneath. In August 1926, Tangier was not merely a city between Europe and Africa. It was a small place carrying the weight of a much larger world.